Absolute scenes David has uploaded on his channel. Mental. Just, you couldn't write it. Been away for 2 weeks because I'm lazy. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy this video and you're hyped for future content. If you're not, then what the hell's wrong with you? Because why wouldn't you be hyped by someone that seems to think that Gaetang... Well, I don't. My community does. My community seems to think that Gaetang Bong is good at football. I mean... says a lot about this channel, really. It's stupid. So I'm going to be topical, being as it is the international break, or more like it has been the international break. I'm going to be picking my England starting 11 for the Euros. I'm so excited to start making content on the Euros. I'll be doing England streams and stuff. So yeah, let me know by all means, of course, your team in the comments below. I mean, you're not going to agree with me, okay? So please, just be family friendly in the comments, yeah? So in goal, we have 3 main options, really. Nick Pope, Jordan Henderson, Jordan Pickford, and Dean Henderson. Yes, there is one Henderson in there, but not Pickford. My choice is going to be Nick Pope. It kind of has to be, because Jordan Pickford... he's a bit of a liability at times. He makes a lot of errors. He has done particularly this season. Dean Henderson, of course, has been playing quite a bit for United recently, and he's done pretty well whenever he has played. Obviously, he was at Sheffield United the previous 2 years, did very well for them, so he's clearly got a big future ahead of him. Could very well be England's first choice in the future, but right now, for me, it's got to be Nick Pope. At left back, there's only really 2 options that stick out for me, Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell, and quite frankly, I wouldn't mind either of these starting in real life. I'm going to go for Luke Shaw because he has come on leaps and bounds this season. Of course, he has plenty of injuries in his career, but he is just... he's a different player. Like, he's a completely different player, isn't he? Saying as a left back, he's got 1 goal. That was against Man City as well, and 5 assists, which is pretty good, really, isn't it, for a defender. Ben Chilwell, I think he's a very top player as well. And again, like I said, if he started, I wouldn't complain. So my centre-back pairing, there's plenty of options that we could choose from here. John Stones, Tyrone Mings, Hendry Konza as well, Harry Maguire, Connor Cody, James Tarkowski, Michael Keane, and Ben Godfrey even. You know, there's plenty of options out there. Lewis Dunk is another one. But I do think it is kind of obvious, really, that one of those has to be John Stones. Because, again, it's very, very similar with Luke Shaw. His career has just suddenly took off again and has taken off with a vengeance. It's just gone up an absolute new level. The other one next to him, I'm not a huge fan of this player, but I kind of feel like he has to be in the team. It's Harry Maguire, okay? I think he's one of those players that really does divide opinion. A lot of people don't rate him, a lot of people do rate him. And I know a lot of people they say you shouldn't really pay attention to the price tag, but 78 million quid from Leicester to Man United a couple of years back, I think we all expected him to do a little bit better, really, let's be honest. And for England, which is what we're more focused on, he always tends to do well. He was great at the World Cup, of course. He literally scored against Sweden in that quarter-final game. And you look at other players like Tyrone Mings and Hendry Konza from Villa. A lot of Villa fans say that Mings hasn't been great this season. I'll be honest, I haven't seen a huge amount of Tyrone Mings individually, so I wouldn't want to comment on that. Konza, and I would agree, has been very good this season, and maybe I think he does in fact deserve an England chance. Players like Connor Cody as well, he's a leader, you know, he's literally Wolves captain. I think if he started, I wouldn't complain either, and I was very, very close to putting him in ahead of Harry Maguire, but I chickened out in the end and I went for the safe option, to be honest, because I think most people would pick Maguire, wouldn't they? Right back. Now, have we got all day available? Because, quite frankly, we need it. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier, Matty Cash.
Matty Cash with a blockbuster of a strike!
I'm not crying. You are. You are. You're crying. I can tell right now. I can't even see you, but you're crying, okay? If you'd asked me this a few weeks ago, I would have definitely said Alexander-Arnold. Straight away, instant starter. I think we have to be brutal, and I am kind of surprised that Southgate had the balls to drop him from this latest squad, but I think that just shows that he at least is going to be a little bit ruthless. Obviously, he's not been as good for Liverpool recently, and for that reason, I'm waffling about a player I've not even picked. I'm picking Kyle Walker, okay? Picking Kyle Walker because it's Kyle Walker. He's a strong, solid, reliable player. He's been there and done it before, literally at previous tournaments he's been for England. He's performed at the highest level all his career pretty much. He's literally going to win another Premier League title. Maybe you could say his age when we do have younger players like Reece James in the squad too, but I personally would pick Kyle Walker. This is why this video is so controversial, because you could pick anyone. And Matty Cash, I'd love it so much if Cashy got a call up, but maybe he will. Maybe he will, and I think he definitely will one day. I do not see him going to the Euros though. I don't, because I think we have other options available. The first of my two central midfielders, Declan Rice. I wasn't a huge fan of this guy, to be fair, when he first came on the scene, but proving me wrong 100%, because I think he's one of the main reasons why West Ham have been so good this season. And here's a fun fact about Declan Rice. He's not even missed a single second of football this season. He's played every single Premier League game in full, which says a lot. Not many players do that at all. The other player next to him, I'm going to go and put someone that can play on the wing, can play as an attacking midfielder as well. And maybe you could say I'm going a little bit too attacking, but I'd rather be more attacking than defensive. Mason Mount. I'm putting Mason Mount in midfield. And the reason why is because I've been really impressed with Mason Mount. I think he has to play. He literally scored against Albania. Forget the fact it's not the most highest ranked team in the world. He scored a goal for his country. The goal that he scored against Liverpool for Chelsea stands out for me this season. Really, really well taken, well worked goal. Been quality for them this season. It's just a shame that he's an ex-Ram, but other than that, top player. Other players we have to consider for this position, obviously Jordan Henderson. He has been injured this season at times, in Liverpool, like with Trent, not been the same as they were in previous years, but he has to at least be considered. I wouldn't start him though. Calvin Phillips, been great for Leeds this season, to be fair to him. Only I do sometimes worry when this happens quite a bit as well. Players, when they're newly promoted, they get the chance for England straight away, a bit like Ollie Watkins as well. I just sometimes think, are they ready? I think Calvin Phillips has proven that he is, but I personally wouldn't be starting him just yet. I think he definitely could in the future, to be fair. Jude Bellingham as well, I'm not going to lie, I can't really talk about him because he's in the Bundesliga. I haven't seen that much of him. One player that I'm definitely going to talk about though with more detail is James Ward-Prowse. I'm not going to start him, but I have considered it, okay? And I think a lot of people wouldn't think to start Ward-Prowse, but he's a seriously underrated player. Captain, can score set pieces. He's an all-rounder, literally. He's exactly what you want from a midfielder. Can score goals, can create chances. And I know it was against San Marino, but he has scored for his country, so you can't take that away from him. All right, moving forward more into the attack now. It is obviously the final midfielder I'm going to pick, an attacking midfielder. And I swapped and changed this attack so much. It's actually, for me, it's harder than selecting a right back. I've gone for Phil Foden as a number 10, an out-and-out number 10. I know he can play on the wing because I really wanted to find a way to put James Maddison in this team, because I think James Maddison is seriously underrated and really does deserve a chance for England properly, because he's only played once for England, James Maddison, his entire time, and that was in 2019. But in the words of Harry Redknapp, Phil Foden is going
right to the very top.
We are so blessed to have such a fantastic squad full of exciting players, and I just hope we don't do what England have done in the past and let us down when we have such an exciting team. Like in 2006, we had some outrageous players, you know, Scholes, Rooney, you know, Terry, players like this, and we did nothing really in that tournament. Not that I can remember it, because it would have been 5. Other players in a number 10 position you could consider to play there are obviously Grealish and Mason Mount, but obviously I put Mason Mount a little bit further back. And talking of Grealish, onto my left wing, it has to be that man from Aston Villa, Jack Grealish. I think he's been brilliant again this season, and I really do not understand why it's taken the rest of the football world so long to realise just how good this guy is. Foden, Grealish and Mount all on the same team. Maybe they could cancel each other out, but again, I'd rather it be more attacking than defending, because if I put in like Calvin Phillips next to Rice, that's too defensive, and then people would say, oh, you're too defensive, so you can't really win either way. Grealish carries Villa. You've seen just how much they've missed him since he's been injured, and thankfully for their sake, he is back soon. Other players, of course, on this left wing you could consider Marcus Rashford. The fact that he isn't starting says a lot about how good this team is, and I think he could. I'll be more than happy if he did start, I'll just say that. Other players like Harvey Barnes from Leicester, you know, he's been great this season for them. I would consider taking him to the Euros. In fact, I probably would take him to the Euros. Wouldn't start him because just look at the amount of options we have available. Right wing, Raheem Sterling. This guy for me is incredibly similar to Forest strikers, i.e. Lewis Graben, because he can't score, but he can, if you know what I mean. Particularly last season, Gavin missed a load of sitters, but he scored about 20 odd goals. Let's ignore this season where he scored 3 goals the entire year and missed about 10 sitters, literally. Irrelevant, completely irrelevant. Sterling does exactly the same. He misses sitters, but he makes up for it by scoring plenty as well. He can score like 20 goals in a season like he has done before, but he still always gets picked up for the amount of sitters he misses, which he's going to, but again, he makes up for it with the goals that he does put away. Other players like Jadon Sancho, I'm not going to lie, a bit like Jude Bellingham, I've not seen a huge amount of him. I've seen more of him, of course. I wouldn't start him, quite frankly. I think he's definitely got a chance of starting in the future. He's got a huge potential ahead of him, Jadon Sancho. Other players like Jesse Lingard and Bukayo Saka, of course, have been great this season. Lingard's reignited his entire season and career, in fact. Saka, of course, been great for Arsenal this season. And in a poor Arsenal side, an underperforming Arsenal side, he's still produced 5 goals and 3 assists, which is pretty good in my opinion. And up front, there's so many options, but there's only really one you can pick, and that is Glenn Murray. Horrendous joke, I'm fully aware. Harry Kane, of course, is that man up front. A leader, a bagsman, a World Cup Golden Boot winner. If I picked anyone else, I wouldn't blame you if you'd unsubscribed, because he had to be in this team, didn't he? He's the first name on this team sheet without a shadow of a doubt, and it's great. We've got so many options just in case Kane does get injured. We've got the likes of Dominic Lewin. He's scored 14 goals this season for Everton, 2 assists. He's had another brilliant year at club level, and in 6 games for England, he scored four times. And forget the fact that it's against, lower teams like Wales in a friendly against San Marino. He scored twice. He still scored for his country, It's a big thing to do. And then you've got the likes of Danny Ings, Ollie Watkins as well. Both had great years. Watkins' first year in the Premier League and has done fantastic, to be fair to him. Patrick Bamford has scored 14 goals and got 7 assists for Leeds this season. Their first season back in the top flight in 16 years. And yet he isn't guaranteed a place in this squad, which says a lot of just how much talent we have in it. So that is my starting 11 for England at the European Championships this summer, which I'm buzzing for. Really excited to do that. If you have enjoyed this video, everyone, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Regular uploads are back, hopefully. They will be, in fact. So yeah, let me know ideas in the comments below for any videos you want me to do in the future, and I'll see you very soon.